All right, we are less than 60 days away from the Player Development Summit, the 2025 Player Development Summit here in Kansas City. And before I get started, I want to give a shout out to my Houston Cougs. Go Cougs, we're in the Final Four. Hey, let's bring this championship home. But I want to talk to you today about why you can't miss the Player Development Summit. Number one, it's built by player development professionals for player development professionals. This is something that I'm passionate about. I'm passionate about player development. Player development is the enhancement of the athlete experience through holistic and intentional programming and initiatives. And if you want to know more about player development, I have a gift for you. You could download it. It's a document that dives into what player development is so that you can understand why you need to be here. But I was in the role for 6 years at Houston, Kansas, and Baylor, and we never had anything like this. I remember being in a taxi in New York, in Manhattan, Times Square. I believe it's Manhattan, Times Square. But I was in New York, and I'm on the phone with Justice Jones. Shout out to Justice Jones. He just became the director of player development for the New York Jets. Shout out to you. But Justice is like, man, we need something for us. We need something for us. And I remember saying, hey, whenever y'all figure it out, I'll be there. Ashley Goodman talking to me. Hey, we need something for us. We need something for us. And so this was built. I was like, you know what? At the time, I wasn't in the role. I was like, you know what? I'm going to create this. And thankfully, with the help of a lot of different player development professionals on what we should talk about, what it should look like, we have what I believe is the most valuable player development event for those looking to grow. And so it was built by that. It was built for that. And one thing I love about this aspect and having the opportunity to create something like this is I also have speakers that will pour into professionals. We can learn everything about what to do for athletes, what to do in the community, academics, transition, international student athletes. We can learn all that, but you need to be poured in as well. And I have 3 incredible speakers who will pour into those who are professionals. Yes, because this is built for you if you are a player development professional or you're someone who's interested. Because you pour so much into athletes, you pour so much into people in your program, you need to be poured into. So this is built for player development professionals by myself and others who have given me insight on what would make this work, because we want to see this space, this player development, player engagement space taken to the next level as we have a new generation of athletes coming, as sports is widening, not only men's sports, women's sports, the globalization of sports. The one thing that won't change, no matter if it's men, women, or the globalization of sports, is that that athlete needs someone. They need someone to direct them in the right path in their competition and outside of their competition. And this summit will help those who are the ones who direct those athletes. All right, I got excited. I got passionate. Didn't even introduce myself. My name's Ed Jones. I am the founder of Beyond the Field. Thank you for checking out this YouTube channel. Maybe you're listening online. Well, not listening online. Maybe you're listening to your car. Maybe you are listening online. Maybe you're at your office desk, whatever it may be, through the Player Development Pod. I want to thank you for being here. I am super excited for this event. As I said earlier, I served at Houston, Kansas, and Baylor, and I am passionate about helping those in the role because in 2016, I did not know what I was doing. And so, speaking of not knowing what you're doing, the second thing that this summit, and the second reason you need to be there, yes, you need to be there, is you will learn what really matters. Okay, it's changing, right? We have the house settlement coming, revenue sharing is coming. Like I said, the globalization of sport. We have topics to talk about all of that. What is player development going to look like in a revenue sharing model? We're going to talk about that. International student athlete development, international athlete development for those on the pro level. We're going to talk about that, right? We're going to talk about how do you lead when you're not the director, right? There's a lot of leadership that can come from that. We're going to talk about the people who have had a director and that director moved on or something happened, some circumstance, and they had to lead. How do you handle that? We'll have breakout sessions about how do you brand yourself. Yes, we're not talking about likes and follows, but how do you communicate who you are and what you do in a space so that not only you can get the resources you need to do well at your job, but you can get paid, maybe hire somebody else. That's what we're talking about. We're going to talk about the things that really matter to the professionals. And of course, we're going to talk about programs for the athletes. We're going to talk about being in the community, talk about being an academic liaison, talk about how to engage career opportunities for your athletes. But we're going to talk about the things that matter. Things are changing, which I'll talk about a little later. And we will talk about those changes. Now, if you're sitting there and maybe you're outside of player development Maybe you're a business person, someone sent this to you, or maybe you saw this GQ Man of the Year. Anyway, if you're like, hey, I want to sponsor this. This guy is on fire. He's excited. I want to sponsor it. I have a link down in the show notes. If you're looking to sponsor, it has all the details. You can reach out to us. We still have some space for sponsorships. So, hey, click that link. All right. The next thing is, the third reason you need to be here is because you'll get real connections, not just contacts. The way we have built this, I read a book called Good to Great. And in the book, Good to Great, was it Good to Great? In some book I read, it talked about how Zappos changed the way, it might've been Range, but they changed the way that they did things to have intentional bumps where people bump into people. And this event is meant for you to leave with connections, not just contacts. You're not just gonna say, oh, that's so-and-so from LinkedIn, or oh, that's so-and-so. We have literally built in systems and structures to help you not only network, but build connections and relationships with people who are there. I'm going to talk about the speakers here in a little bit, but we're going to have people from the professional leagues, the collegiate league space, people internationally doing great things in this space. And we want to make sure you make these connections. Once again, all I care about is the entirety of this field, because here's the thing, athletes are not going anywhere. Sports are not going anywhere. But they need our help. The issues they face, there's nothing new under the sun. We are there to help. And as we connect and grow, man, I'm getting passionate, y'all. I'm excited. We're less than 60 days. We're about 57 days out, y'all. I'm excited. I want to see you there. But as we connect and grow, we're able to do things that change the trajectory of athletes' lives in this space. There's a lot of people who are looking to get in this space. You're going to be there. You're going to be able to contact with people who may not have the job and say, hey, I met this person so-and-so. We connected at the summit. Hey, give them a shot. But you're going to be able to really build connections. And I'm excited because there's a lot of people who will speak, who I've known virtually. They've been our two virtual conferences, summits. It was Player Development Conference. We switched to the summit, but our two virtual events that I still have not met, speakers, attendees, things like that. But you're going to make real connections. We plan to have some great networking opportunities at the summit and outside of the summit to kind of just really allow you that time to get with people. One thing that I like connecting with people, and I know it's tough at conferences, summits, symposiums, things like that. It can be tough to get around people and to get to know people in a setting where, hey, I just want to get to know you. Like, I understand you're the VP of so-and-so, but I just want to get to know you. We are going to set that up, and that is going to be a reality at the 2025 Player Development Summit. And that's why you need to be there. That is why you need to be here. The fourth reason you need to be there is it's going to be some of the top voices in the industry. We're talking people in the NBA, people in the NFL, people doing great things in college athletics. We're still adding speakers here because as we release speakers, people are like, I want to speak. Y'all, this part right here is the toughest for me, picking speakers, because there's so many speakers, but we also want to create a networking opportunity for people to be around each other where you're not just sitting in the seat all day. So this is tough for me. It is, because there's a lot of speakers that I'm excited. We'll have some for next year, but we're gonna have the top voices in the industry. And the thing about these speakers, and even the ones that are wanting to contact, is they care about you. So these are not speakers that will get on the stage and then dip. Now, some of them have teams and things they have to do. So that may be a case that is not their heart. And that's the big thing. We've all been to conferences. We've all been to events where somebody comes in, boom, they get in and they get out. There's no connection. These speakers care. Like, oh, here we go. You could go online, but one of the speakers is Alexander Martin. Alexander Martin literally reposts every sports job on LinkedIn. Every single sports job. He actually is the only person I know who shut down LinkedIn. His messages actually shut down. But he's not only a top voice in the industry, but he cares about the next generation of people in this space. You know, we're going to have Dr. Lacey Carmen Johnson, Jess Gray. They've been there for the last two virtual summits. And what I love about what they do is not only do they care about people, they are active, y'all. The last 2 years, both of them have been in the chat. Both of them have been active. Both of them have called out people. That was pretty cool. Seeing them call out someone who was an attendee who was very active day one. And by day three, that attendee was being called out by their first name by Jess Gray, by Dr. Lacey Carmen Johnson. That's awesome, right? So these speakers are not only the top voices, but they care about people. They are literally invested in this And I am so excited that you get to hear from them and so many others. If you want to see our rolling list of speakers, we're releasing it soon. Please click the link here in the show notes to our website where you can see some of the speakers that will be speaking. But we got some of the top voices, y'all. Let's go. Man, hey, look, y'all. Man, I'm hyped. I can already see the text message I'm gonna get from my guy, Drew Davis, telling me I need to breathe. I need to talk a little slower. But hey, I am excited. The fifth reason why you need to be at the 2025 Player Development Summit is it will be here in Kansas City. Now, let's do a whole story here. Kansas City, I currently live in Kansas City. I am from Houston. Go Cougs. Hey, let's go Cougs. Let's get this dub, baby. I'm from Houston. I got a chance to work in Kansas and I fell in love with Kansas City. Well, the biggest reason I fell in love with Kansas City is because the love of my life is from Kansas City. Hey, what's up, boo? But as I lived here, I enjoyed Kansas City as well. And so what happened is we moved back after Baylor when I was kind of like knowing there was a transition in the role. We moved back and this city has grown. And one thing that was pretty cool, we were originally going to go to Washington, D.C., but as we looked at people filling out the survey for the summit, we realized a lot of people wanted a centralized location. And I was like, sweet. It was just shocking to me, like how many people were like, let's go Central, let's go KC, let's go KC. And that was pretty awesome to me because Kansas City, y'all, has literally supported this summit in ways I cannot tell you all. Like, I just can't tell you all. It's been great walking into shops and other sponsors. Once again, if you're in Kansas City, you want to sponsor, hit that link. And people are like, yeah, we'll figure it out. I got you. Let's do something. Like, let's partner. And it's just like, man, like, wow. You know, a lot of people in Kansas City are stepping up to make this Kansas City's event. The other thing, and the other reason why I'm excited to have Kansas City here is Kansas City is a great sports town. Kansas City loves champions. Kansas City loves sports. Kansas City loves people that want to get things done. They love people that are kind of, hey, you're going to do this, we're going to support you. And I've enjoyed this as someone who's a founder of Beyond the Field and spreading this player development, player engagement message to the masses. They have supported me in many ways. And so that's been great as well. And so we're going to integrate a lot of Kansas City into this event. This will not just be an event where it's just like, oh, I was in Kansas City. No, you will understand Kansas City. Me and my team, shout out to the Brain Tank team, Lauren King, Madison Cole, Trinity Montero, and Kenneth Dobbins. Shout out to y'all. But we are integrating Kansas City into this experience. So you can have a great Kansas City experience. Kansas City is a great city. And if anybody from Kansas City is watching this, I want to thank y'all so much for all that you do. And once again, if you want to sponsor, hit that link. Being here in Kansas City is going to be awesome. The weather's going to be great too. Hey, the weather's going to be great. I'm from Houston, y'all. We can do this May 29th through 31st. People will be getting blistered. The weather's going to be great. Just a lot of great opportunities here in Kansas City. Now, you may be saying, hey, I want to learn more about Kansas City. I want to learn more about the summit. That's awesome. We have a summit document. It's under there. It talks about, I believe it's going to say the title is like, hey, 2025 Player Development Summit info or summit packet. Click the link, download it today. You'll get information on what you need to know about the summit and the city of Kansas City. So awesome. We're excited about that. But hey, y'all, let me do something. Because I got excited. Maybe I talk too fast. I want to, let's go to story time. Let's take a deep breath. And I'm mostly talking to myself. All right, now let's imagine you walk into the Keystone Collab, okay? You're walking in. You hear the sliding doors. You walk in, there's cool air. Someone says, hey, welcome to the 2025 Player Development Summit. We are so excited to have you. You walk to the registration table. You see some of our students. Shout out to our students. You grab your lanyard. As you grab your lanyard, someone says, yo, what's up? It's nice to see you in person. Someone from LinkedIn has connected with you and you're like, hey, I'm excited to be here and see you. And you all have a conversation. As you're having that conversation, you see Justice Jones of the New York Jets talking to Alexander Martin of the Miami Dolphins. And you're like, oh, snap. Like, I'm here. I'm around these people, you know, and you say, I'm going to go over there and chop it up with them. As you go over there and chop it up with them, you get in a conversation about player development. You ask them how the transition was going from college to the NFL. And as they're having that conversation with you, they invite over Dr. Lacey Carmen Johnson, who's with the Toronto Raptors, and Jessica Gray, who's with the Detroit Lions. And now you're in this space where you're having a conversation and you're making connections with some of the top voices on the professional level. But not only that, You're standing there, you're talking, and then Gus Felder comes up. You hear me and Gus Felder. I come up to you and say, hey, what's up? Thank you so much for coming to the Player Development Summit. I'm so excited that you're here. It's great to meet you in person. And I'm walking up with Gus Felder, and we're talking about college football, revenue sharing, what it looks like now. And you're sitting there, and you're like, whoa. Well, you hear someone, our MC, shout out to my guy, Joe Thompson, say, hey, all right, everybody, we're about to get started. Let's take your seats. And you're sitting there, and you're looking around. You're looking at all these people dedicated to helping, enhance the life of athletes. You're looking around, and you're like, man, I am so glad I'm here, because the only way I could experience that was being here at the summit. And that's what it is. That's what it is. That's what we want to create for you. That's why you should come, and that's why I want to see you. But before I leave, what I want to do is I want to give you some testimonials, right, of people who went to the virtual summit. Because anything you do virtually is going to be so much grander or so much better in person. But I want to give you testimonials of people who went to the one virtually. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go grab my phone and get those testimonials. All right, here we go. We're going to read a couple testimonials. Testimonial number 1, I got to hear voices of the professionals I look up to and want to connect with all at once. It was really nice also seeing those interested in the same field as me. I have felt alone in my career journey, so seeing peers was nice, a very diverse group. Do y'all hear that? Feeling alone in their journey? This was virtually. They felt connected virtually. Imagine what that person's going to feel like in person. Here's another testimonial. Being in a room full of people who want to create the impact on athletes that you want to create makes you feel less alone in the world. There's those words again. In a room full of people, less alone. This was virtually. Again, I'm going to remind you, this is virtually. So imagine this person experiencing it in person. Here's another testimonial. I was given a space to ask a multitude of questions, network, get my name and face recognized, and build relationships with my peers all at once. Once again, that was virtually, you all. So this summit has had success virtually, but imagine those 3 testimonials. Imagine those in person. Get my face recognized, right? That means something to professionals. That means something to people who want to get into space. This is why you should be here. And then the last testimonial I have right here. Great speakers, a lot of great information, really made the difference. As someone looking to get into the space, I feel like my understanding shot up 1,000%. Y'all, I love hearing that. I love hearing that. That means a lot to me. Even reading this means a lot to me, because there's 4 goals of the Player Development Summit: for people to grow, for people to network, for people to partner, and for possible hiring opportunities. And we have been able to do that virtually, and I cannot wait to do it in person. So you know what you need to do. You need to go to the link in the show notes, get your tickets, and I will see you there. Y'all, those are the 5 reasons why you can't miss the 2025 Player Development Summit. Hey y'all, I got to create more content. We got to get prepared for this summit. So as I always say, go out and create generational impact. Don't wait, create that generational impact today. And I will see you here in Kansas City, May 29th through the 31st. You do not want to miss it. I literally just told you why. I'll see y'all.